The room pulsed with the clink of wine glasses and the hum of polite chatter, but my chest felt like it was caving in, each breath sharp as a blade. I stood frozen in the center of our crowded living room, my silk dress clinging to my sweat-damp skin, as every eye in the room bored into me. My husband, David, was across the room, laughing too loudly with Claire, his co-worker, her hand resting on his arm for just a second too long. The party was ours, our 10th anniversary, but it felt like a stage, and I was a fool who'd forgotten her lines. I'd seen the signs for months. The late nights at the office, his phone angled just out of my view, the way his smile faltered when I asked about his day. I told myself it was stress, that David was just buried in work. But denial is a fragile shield, and tonight it was splintering. Claire's perfume, sweet like overripe peaches, lingered in the air when she leaned in to whisper something to him. My stomach churned, acid rising, as I gripped my wine glass so tightly I thought it might shatter. "Are you okay, Sarah?" My friend Lisa's voice cut through the haze, her brow furrowed with concern. I forced a smile, my lips trembling. "Fine," I lied, my voice a thin thread. "Just warm in here." But I wasn't fine. My mind was a storm of doubt and dread, replaying every moment I'd brushed off. The time David came home with lipstick on his collar, claiming it was from a client's overly friendly hug. The hushed phone call I'd overheard, his tone too soft, too intimate. I'd rationalize it all, clinging to the love we'd built over a decade. But now, with Claire's laughter ringing in my ears, those excuses felt like lies I'd told myself. I moved through the crowd, my heels clicking on the hardwood, each step heavier than the last. The living room was a blur of candlelight and shadows, the air thick with the scent of rosemary from the catered appetizers. I needed air, space, anything to stop the suffocating weight of suspicion. Outside, on the patio, the night was cool, the stars sharp against the black sky. I leaned against the railing, my breath visible in the chilly air, and tried to quiet the voice in my head screaming that something was wrong. David found me there, his footsteps soft but deliberate. "Sarah, what's going on?" His voice was gentle, but there was an edge to it, like he was bracing for a fight. I turned to face him, his familiar features, dark eyes, the faint scar above his brow, suddenly foreign. "Why is she here, David?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. "Why is Claire always around?" His jaw tightened, and for a moment I saw something flicker in his eyes, guilt or maybe defiance. "She's a friend," he said too quickly. "You're overthinking this." But I wasn't. The truth was clawing its way out, and I couldn't stop it. "I saw her touch you," I said, my voice breaking. "I saw the way you looked at her." His silence was deafening, heavier than any confession. My heart pounded, each beat a hammer against my ribs. "Tell me I'm wrong," I begged, tears stinging my eyes. "Tell me there's nothing going on." He looked away, his hands shoved into his pockets, and in that moment I knew. The air between us cracked, the trust we'd built shattering like glass. "Sarah, He started, but the words died. The party's laughter drifted out, mocking me. Everyone inside had seen it. Claire's lingering touches, David's too easy smiles. They'd watched me play the oblivious wife, and now the truth was laid bare. "I didn't mean for it to happen," he finally said, his voice low, raw. "It was a mistake. A few times, after work. I was stupid." His admission hit like a punch, stealing my breath. I wanted to scream, to claw at him, but my body felt heavy, anchored by betrayal. "A few times." I choked out, my voice a stranger's. "How could you?" He stepped closer, reaching for me, but I flinched, the space between us a chasm. "I love you, Sarah," he said, his eyes glistening. "I ended it. I swear." But the words felt hollow, tainted by the image of him with her. My mind spun, torn between the love I still felt and the rage burning through me. How could I trust him again? How could I trust myself when I'd ignored every warning? Then he did something I'd never forget. David sank to his knees, right there on the patio, his hands clasped like a man pleading for salvation. "I'll do anything," he whispered, his voice breaking. "Therapy, whatever you want. Just don't leave me." The sight of him, my strong, proud husband, reduced to this, shattered something deeper than his betrayal had. The crowd inside had gone quiet, some peering through the glass doors, witnesses to our unraveling. I stood there, heart pounding, torn between forgiveness and the urge to walk away forever. In that moment, I realized the real betrayal wasn't just his affair. It was a part of me that still wanted to believe him. The part that might always wonder if love could survive this kind of wound. As the stars burned above us, I knew one thing for certain. Nothing would ever be the same.